So Awarda emailed me and she said that she is at home with a sick child again who has an ear infection. So she asked if maybe I would record the rest of the class. So I'm trying to do that. So we have been reading this article, U.S. border agents fire tear gas on migrants, close Mexico crossing. And I said we were going to come back and we were going to look at main ideas in paragraphs. So in this first paragraph, Tijuana is a Mexican town just across the border from California. Thousands of Central American migrants have been waiting in Tijuana to cross into the United States. On Sunday, November 25th, a group of migrants rushed the border. U.S. Border Patrol officers fired tear gas at them. Tear gas makes it painful to breathe, but it is not deadly. Police used it to break up protests and fighting. What might be the main idea of this paragraph? Okay, so Chin says that what she is taking away from this main idea would be on Sunday, November 25th, a group of migrants rushed the border. U.S. Border Patrol officers fired tear gas at them. So this is what Chin is saying. Do you agree with that, Emmanuel? Is that the main idea of this paragraph?
That is I can is a principle, is a development of idea. Huh?
Do you think it's a development of the idea? Then what do you think is the principal idea?
The principal idea is Tijuana is a Mexican town just across the border from California.
Okay. So this is what Emmanuel thinks. Okay. Tuvana, how about you? What do you think is the main idea of the paragraph? Okay. So you're going to kind of more agree with Emmanuel then. You're going to include the. Okay. So when we are looking to kind of come up with a main idea, And we've done this reversed. We've had a main idea. We want to ask ourselves questions like who, what, when, where, why. Okay? So to find a main idea, we want to know who or what is the article about. Who or what is the article about? The migrants. It's about migrants, okay? So when I think about what maybe the topic sentence is for the full paragraph, that all of this stuff that you highlighted could fit under, would actually be this one in between. Okay. So if I were to highlight what I thought the main idea was, I would say thousands of Central American migrants have been waiting in Tijuana to cross into the United States. Because everything else happens because of that sentence. Okay? So because the migrants have been waiting, there's a group that rushed the border on the 25th. Because the migrants have been waiting, U.S. Border Patrol officers fired tear gas at them. Okay, and then tear gas is a sub-sentence of this sentence. And this sentence is a sub-sentence of this sentence. Okay? But migrants waiting in Tijuana, this sentence kind of ties into this sentence. So I think that this sentence here is the main idea of this paragraph. Because all of the other things, like if we were to do our bubble, we could come up with different information off of that bubble. Now, I want you to look at the second sentence, or the second paragraph. The migrants are from Central American countries like Honduras and are fleeing violence and poverty at home. They are seeking protection in the United States. People in the US cannot agree about what to do about the migrants. Some people think they deserve protection. President Donald Trump does not want to let them in. I want you three to talk to each other and decide what sentence in this paragraph does everything else go into. If you didn't have one of these sentences, you wouldn't have a paragraph. So that is your topic sentence. So talk to each other. You have figured it out? Okay. So what did you decide is the main idea?
We decided to the second paragraph, migrant. The migrant are seeking protection in the United States.
The migrants are seeking protection in the United States. I agree with you. Okay. Okay. Now, can you come up with if you read the next section? Not necessarily each of the 3 paragraphs, but what is the idea of the next section? What is the big main topic of the next section? Talk about it amongst yourselves. Again.
This paragraph is very funny.
Why is it very funny?
It's a ping pong.
Oh, it's like a ping pong. Because there's one argument for this, and one argument for this, and one argument for this, and one argument for this. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Who is right?
Hmm?
Who is right?
Oh.
Because all who is saying, no, you are bad. Who is right? So what do you think is the main idea of that next section?
I think that's this. Like this.
Sure.
Yeah, I think they like it can be the migrants think it is too flat, the border should be simple.
Okay.
The second,
I don't think it's the migrants that think that, though. I think it's somebody else. I think that it's Trump supporters think it is proof that the border should be sealed off. Right? So I agree with that. that Trump supporters are upset. They don't believe that migrants respect the law. And then, but I also agree with Emmanuel. He said there's a lot of debate. It's kind of like a ping pong ball. This side says this side says this side says this side says this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Okay, let's look at the next part together, since we're kind of short on time now. Use of tear gas called inhumane. Cristobal J. Alex runs a group that helps Latin Americans run for office. He said the migrants have a right to seek protection and that the use of tear gas was inhumane. What we saw at the San Ysidro border crossing should horrify the whole country, he said. Experts said the incident will increase political differences in the United States. Some people are seeing an invasion and some people are seeing toddlers being tear gassed, said Robert Suro. He teaches at the University of Southern California. Now he thinks it will be even harder to find a solution. What do we think that this section's main idea is?
Cristobal. The name is Cristobal G?
J.
J. J. Ah, okay. Cristobal J. Say the migrants have a right to seek protection and that the use of the tear gas was inhumane.
Okay, that's what one side. But then there's another side that says some people see an invasion. Some people seeing toddlers tear gassed. So again, we have that ping pong effect. So I think that the main idea of this section is really wrapped up in this middle sentence that says, experts said the incident will increase political differences in the United States. Okay, that's really what we're going to be. That's really what this is about. We know that there's two sides.
Some people are seeing invasion, and some people are seeing toddlers.
Toddlers? Do you know what toddlers are?
Toddlers being yes, sir.
Tear gas.
Okay.
Okay. So now listen for the next main idea. Extra Border Patrol officers had already been sent to the San Ysidro crossing between Tijuana and San Diego on Sunday. They were there because protests were already planned at the border. U.S. border officials said a group of protesters tried to enter the country illegally. The crossing was closed for more than 4 hours to stop others from rushing the border. Kirsten Nielsen is in charge of Homeland Security. She said the U.S. would not tolerate bad behavior from people trying to enter the country. At one point, Border Patrol officers fired a flashbang device, a non-deadly explosion meant to scare people. They also launched tear gas at a group of people trying to make their way through a fence. Some mothers ran under a train, clutching their crying children. Photos from the scene showed children in the area where the tear gas landed. No one managed to cross the border, and several migrants were arrested. Okay? What is the main idea of this part?
I can say the crossing was closed for more than 4 hours to stop others from rushing the border.
I would say that's a good main idea. The crossing was closed for more than 4 hours to stop others from rushing the border. Okay. And then we have the last part, small group blamed for clash with US officers. Adam Isaacson studies how the US works with Latin American security forces. He said the migrants who rushed the border guards were mostly young men. They were not the women and children in the caravan seeking protection. This was clearly a random splinter of the caravan, Isaacson said. Isaacson believes the incident will cause a crackdown on migrants. He said it would fuel the Trump administration's hard position. It would also help officials in Mexico who also do not want to host the migrants. Luis Discipio teaches politics at the University of California, Irvine. He said that 4 months, Trump has pushed a false story of an attack at the border. Sunday's incident will only be used to his advantage. Discipio believed that Trump and Homeland Security would use the scene to support sending troops to the border. No one knows why the people rushed the border. However, they were certainly not going to be successful, Discipio said. This will be made into a huge deal, Discipio said. It was not a big deal. What is the main idea of this section? What do you think the main idea of this section is?
Adam is a son.
Isaacson.
Isaacson. I think my opinion, he said it would go to the Trump administration hard position.
Yes, it would fuel the Trump's administration's hard position, but before that, the incident will cause a crackdown on migrants. So, okay. So at the end of the article, there are some questions. Go ahead and take them home with you. Try to bring them back on Wednesday. And then that's it for today. You can go come sign out.